Dykes on Disc by Jackie Gabrielle. Copyright 2011. In memory of my mom, Dorothy Alex Bergstrom, and Lisa. Lessons by Jackie Gabrielle. Being a lesbian, I know what you're thinking. Stop it now. It's not that kind of story. In the early stages of life, we have easy lessons. We have only to learn how to talk, how to walk, how to control our bodily functions. Easy, right? Then, as life goes on and the lessons get a little more complex, subtle, teaching us what we need to know right when we need it, sometimes before we need it. The difficult thing is to accept it and continue to go on with the flow of life's intricacies. To embrace it as a good thing, even though we can't see the good part yet. To learn the life's lesson. My friend Ella was about to have just such a life lesson, although she didn't know it. Her best friend Sue may have known, but the four-legged companion wasn't talking. Sue was a white, wiry ball of muscle, and she loved her mistress with all her Westy heart. Ella, on the other hand, was a tall, tan drink of water. Easy on the eyes, I think people would say. As she flew toward the Florida Turnpike to begin her new life in the Everglades, her lesson was beginning to unfold. The trip itself was uneventful, except for the buzzards. If only she had seen the signs. Buzzards, right? They were in the middle of the street when Ella had stopped to take a closer look at a plant she had seen on the side of the road. The birds looked like a black pool of water in the street. Only as she got closer did she realize what they were. Otherwise, it was an uneventful trip. When Ella arrived at the compound where she and Sue were going to live, she was met by a woman with long, dark, flowing hair and low-slung button-fly jeans. This was Ella's girl. They were starting a new life anew. Ella had left her job in the city and packed away her belongings. She was all in. The next day, in the bleary eyes of love, Ella thought sure the letter she found on the bedside table was a trick. She read the letter over and over again. It read, God has told me that I need to get sober, and I can't do that if I stay here with you. Really, God? What is this? Why is this? Why would a loving God take my girl from me? Strip me naked in a strange land and leave me alone. Ella was devastated for a long time. 6 years. Then the universe made Ella an offer. Come to California with this new woman. Come on the voyage of a lifetime. Step out on faith, the belief in things not seen. Believe that I still love you and want the best for you. Ella went. Pat's Place by Jackie Gabrielle. It began like any other day, the pungent aroma of onions and potatoes cooking in the kitchen. The cardinals and the sparrows were tweeting and chirping. The cool blue 40-degree weather that passed for winter in Florida gave no hint of the events to come. Becky went about her morning unaware of how her life was about to change. The drive to work was like any other day. The traffic was packed from I-4 to Highway 50. Semis, taxis, buses, and the odd work truck filled the road. The odor of baking things wafted in and out of the car as she passed the row of food vendors which lined the streets. Eventually, she made her way to the parking lot of the bar where she worked. Pat's Place, Orlando's very own lesbian-owned bar. As a matter of fact, the only one. Raquel, the vivacious, busty redhead who tended the bar, had already arrived. Her black Navigator was parked beneath the large oak trees which bordered the parking lot. She was sashaying across the lot towards the bar's entrance. My, she had a walk on her. "Hey, beautiful," called out Becky, as she disembarked from her little black Chevy S10. "Hey yourself," came the reply. "Hurry in so I can turn off the alarm." Once inside, the two started their routines. Raquel turned on lights, filled ice sinks, and dusted bottles behind the bar. Becky turned on wall lights and took chairs off tables or put them on tables. Then to the backyard to empty ashtrays and talk to God. The backyard of the bar was like an oasis. Beach sand with umbrellaed tables and benches gave it an island feel. Customers had donated decorations over the years. There were license plates from Key West, Virgin Islands, and Jamaica, to name a few. Life buoys and skis also littered the surrounding privacy fence. Toward the back of the yard were two tinted gazebos, each with several chairs inside surrounding a small table. The center of attraction, the hot tub, sat in a 10 by 30-foot area of grass, well, mostly grass, separating the beach area from the gazebos. Becky headed to the gazebo on her left and settled into the pillowed mesh chair. It was always peaceful back here. From time to time, a Florida condor would float overhead, soaring on the thermals. Sure, the real name is vulture, but Becky was on a crusade of her own to have the regal birds renamed, so she called them that at any opportunity. She took in the view as she raided her pipe. The breeze was nice today. In her right hand, she twisted the top off the tiny little brown bottle in which she carried her medication. She made a mental note that the banner was falling and it would have to be taken care of later. For the moment, she would sit back and inhale the sweet aroma of burning cannabis. Little sips of God's herb, and she could begin her day centered in love and peace to all. Suddenly, the exit door opened and out came Mattie. Becky remembered when she first met her. The word scrappy comes to mind. Not that she ever did anything per se, it's just that you felt that she could, if she needed to, handle herself. Maybe it was the stories about Vietnam or the losses she had had, or the way her hair swept over her waist when she mopped the floor. Yes, she was a looker, too. Mattie was a strong and beautiful woman with great inner strength. Becky valued her friendship. Mattie was the one who showed her how to put the chairs in the bar. When Becky first came to Pat's place, she didn't know anyone, or anything really. She had recently been displaced. Reed, made homeless, laid off her job of 15 years in other drama, and had nowhere to be during the day. So she came to Pat's place. There, Mattie would be working, and Becky, having nothing to do, would help. Mattie let her. To Becky, it was like saying, "Welcome, friend. Jump on in and be a part of." "Care to talk with God?" she called out to Mattie. "You know, I think I might need to say a few words to him," came the reply. "Did you see Raquel inside?" "Yeah, she's on that what a mess game already." "I think she must have the all-time highest score." "No kidding. I think her name is in second and third place, too." Becky and Mattie laughed and talked to God. If only they could have heard what was in store for them today. They surveyed the yard for a while, emptying the garbage and cleaning ashtrays, finally deciding to take the cover off the hot tub when they were done. Mattie positioned herself on one side and Becky took the other. They lifted the cover up and walked it up against the fence about 2 feet behind the tub. When they looked back to the tub, they froze. Was that a dead body? "It kinda looks like what I seen on TV," thought Becky, "and it sure smells like a dead body." Before she could speak, she was aware of Mattie already heading for the inside. Becky pulled herself away from the tub and hurried inside, too. She found Mattie already hurriedly talking to Raquel, who was quickly dialing on her phone. "Okay," Raquel instructed. "You call 911 and I'll call Teddy." Teddy owned Pat's place. She was a no-nonsense dyke. There were a lot of stories about her, and if only half were true, She was darn lucky to still be here, but today she may not be thinking so. This was one hell of a way to start the new year. To be continued. We hope you have enjoyed this disc. The author invites your feedback on Facebook. Thanks for listening.